My beloved child. There is a quiet moment that changes everything, and many people miss it because it does not arrive with noise. It comes softly, almost unnoticed, like a pause between two thoughts, like a breath before a new chapter begins. That is why you must not skip this moment now, because something huge is waiting for you, and what is being prepared around your life is not ordinary. A heart connected to yours has entered a different kind of silence. Not an empty silence, not distance, not forgetting, but a silence where feelings become clear, where confusion begins to leave, and where truth starts speaking louder than fear. While you were wondering why certain things felt delayed, something deep was being arranged beyond what your eyes could see. Stay till the end, because the quiet moment you thought meant nothing is actually the beginning of a beautiful change. There is someone who has been thinking longer than they have spoken. Someone who has replayed words in their mind, imagined new beginnings, and stood at the edge of a decision without knowing how to step forward. Yet now, after a season of holding back, something within them is moving differently. The hesitation that once kept them still is losing its power. Do not skip, because what happens inside a silent heart often becomes the loudest turning point later. They remember small details that even you may have forgotten. A sentence, a smile, a moment that looked ordinary to everyone else, but to them it remained alive. Some connections do not disappear simply because time passes. Some feelings wait quietly until the right inner change arrives. That inner change has already started. And this is why your spirit has felt unusual lately. You sensed something before seeing proof. You felt a shift before hearing words. That is because certain changes announce themselves quietly before they appear clearly. Something huge is waiting for you. The silence around this connection was never empty. It was a hidden preparation. A season where unfinished thoughts were being completed inside another heart. A season where understanding had to grow before movement could begin. There were nights when they almost reached out in thought, moments when your name crossed their mind unexpectedly, times when they looked away from everything else only to return to the same inner question. What if this connection still has something beautiful ahead? That question has not left them. And now the answer is becoming stronger. Stay till the end, because what is forming now carries a softness that can change how you see the next days ahead. Not every beautiful change begins with a dramatic sign. Sometimes it begins when someone finally becomes honest with themselves. Sometimes it begins when fear grows tired and hope quietly becomes stronger. That quiet honesty has started. There is a new awareness building in them, an understanding that some people cannot be replaced, some moments cannot be repeated, and some bonds continue speaking even when words stop for a while. You may have thought nothing was happening. But unseen things often move first. There are doors that open silently before anyone hears them. And there are hearts that decide deeply before they ever speak openly. Do not skip, because this is where many people stop listening, and yet this is where the message becomes most important. A beautiful change is not only about reunion or words, it is about energy shifting in a way that allows peace to return where uncertainty once stayed. It is about someone becoming ready to carry sincerity instead of confusion. Something that once felt delayed is now approaching in a gentler way. And the reason it feels gentle is because it has passed through reflection first. That quiet moment gave room for understanding. That quiet moment gave room for truth. That quiet moment allowed what was hidden to become impossible to ignore. Something huge is waiting for you. You may notice signs in simple moments, an unexpected memory, a sudden feeling of calm, a strange sense that something unfinished is now moving toward completion. These things often arrive before visible proof. The heart connected to yours is no longer standing in the same emotional place as before. The old hesitation is weaker now. The old uncertainty is fading. And a beautiful thought has begun to stay longer than before. Maybe now is the right time. Stay till the end, because not every message reaches you at the exact moment it becomes true, but when it does, it arrives because you are meant to understand it. There is a reason this message found you now and not earlier. Timing matters when hearts are changing. Some truths only become clear after silence has done its work. And silence has already done more than you realize. The next step may begin very softly, through one thought, one sign, one simple movement, but soft beginnings often carry the deepest meaning. Do not skip. Because what is coming carries warmth, not pressure. It carries clarity, not confusion. And the quiet moment that seemed empty may soon become the reason you understand why everything waited. Something beautiful has already begun where you cannot yet fully see. And sometimes the first evidence of change is simply this feeling that your heart should keep listening, because something important is closer than before. What you are about to hear did not begin today. It began in a hidden space where emotions were quietly gathering strength, where someone connected to your future was learning how deeply one presence can remain even during silence. Do not skip, because the quiet moment mentioned before was not the end of the story. It was only the first sign that something within your soulmate's heart had started to turn toward a beautiful new direction. There are moments when a person suddenly understands that what they kept pushing aside has become impossible to ignore. That moment has already touched them. A thought came unexpectedly, and instead of passing quickly, it stayed. It returned again later. Then it returned with more meaning. Your presence, your energy, your memory. Something about it became stronger in their mind than before. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and this next part explains why the silence around you has recently felt different. A quiet realization has entered their heart. Not every connection feels ordinary, and not every person leaves the same imprint. Some people remain like a light in the background of every day, even when life appears busy. That is what has begun happening now. At an unexpected hour, while everything looked normal around them, your memory arrived with unusual clarity. Not as a passing thought, but as something that carried emotion with it. They paused. They looked inward. And for the first time in a long while, they allowed themselves to admit that this feeling has not disappeared. That admission changed something. Because once truth is admitted inside the heart, silence no longer feels comfortable in the same way. Do not skip, because many people leave before hearing the part that matters most. The beautiful change begins when someone stops resisting what they truly feel. And that resistance is weakening. There was a time when they convinced themselves to stay distant in thought, to remain uncertain, to let time decide everything. But recently, a softer understanding has begun replacing that distance. They are no longer looking at the connection through old confusion. They are seeing it with new calm. Something huge is waiting for you. Even small moments around them now carry reminders. A song, a place, a sentence, a familiar feeling, simple things suddenly connect back to you. This is why quiet moments have become meaningful to them. Because silence is no longer empty. Silence now speaks. And what it says is surprising, something beautiful still matters here. Stay till the end, because there is a reason this message feels personal right now. There are people who enter our path and leave lessons. There are others who leave impressions. But sometimes one's soul leaves a feeling that continues growing quietly, even when words are absent. That kind of feeling does not disappear easily. It waits until the heart becomes ready enough to understand it. That readiness is forming now. A once-in-a-lifetime shift often looks small at first. It does not arrive dramatically. It begins with someone noticing that they miss what they once thought they could ignore. That missing has begun. Not loudly, not publicly, but deeply. Do not skip, because what they are understanding now may soon influence how they move next. They have started imagining what peace would feel like if honesty returned. They have started thinking about what could happen if fear no longer decided everything. These are quiet thoughts, but powerful ones, because repeated thoughts eventually become decisions. And this is where beautiful change begins. The silence that once protected them now feels too heavy. The distance that once seemed easy now feels incomplete. The quiet moment has turned into a mirror, and in that mirror they are seeing what truly matters. Something huge is waiting for you. You may not yet hear words. You may not yet see action. But unseen change often reaches maturity before visible movement appears. Hearts often decide long before lives outwardly change. That is why this season matters. Because something inside them is becoming clear enough that it cannot stay hidden forever. Stay till the end, because this next truth is important. When someone reaches emotional clarity after silence, they do not return with the same uncertainty they had before. They return softer, wiser, and more aware of what they almost overlooked. That awareness is creating a beautiful opening. A gentle courage is replacing hesitation. A warm certainty is replacing doubt. And the connection that once felt suspended is quietly receiving new life. Do not skip. Because if you have felt unusual calm mixed with curiosity lately, it may be because your spirit senses movement before your eyes can confirm it. Some changes arrive first as peace. Some answers arrive first as inner knowing. And sometimes the quietest chapter becomes the one people remember most, because it carried the beginning of everything that followed. Something huge is waiting for you. The heart connected to yours is not standing where it stood before. A different thought now lives there, perhaps the right moment is no longer far away. And when a thought becomes steady enough, it begins shaping everything after it. There is a reason the story still feels unfinished, because some of the most beautiful changes do not begin when people expect them. They begin when a hidden certainty finally becomes stronger than hesitation. Do not skip, because this part carries the moment where everything starts becoming clearer. What has been growing quietly inside your soulmate's heart is no longer only a passing thought. It has become something they return to without trying. Even during ordinary hours, when attention should be elsewhere, a part of their mind keeps returning to the same emotional space, your presence, your energy, the feeling that something meaningful still remains connected. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next shift is more powerful than it first appears. There are moments when someone suddenly notices that peace does not arrive when they ignore what matters, it arrives when they finally face it. That realization has entered them gently, but deeply. And once such a realization enters, life no longer feels exactly the same. A quiet question has become stronger: why does this connection still feel alive after everything? That question has opened another door. Because now they are not only remembering, they are understanding. They are understanding why certain memories never faded. Why certain moments stayed bright. Why certain emotions returned even after silence. Do not skip, because this understanding is creating movement in places you cannot yet see. A person may stay silent for many reasons, but when silence begins teaching instead of hiding, everything changes. Silence has taught them that some connections are rare, and rare things cannot be treated casually forever. This is why the atmosphere around this connection has begun shifting. Not dramatically. Not suddenly. But steadily. Something huge is waiting for you. There are small private moments where they almost speak aloud what they feel, even when no one is near. They replay possible words. They imagine simple conversations. They think about what honesty would sound like if spoken gently. And each time they imagine it, the fear becomes smaller. Stay till the end, because what once looked distant is slowly becoming emotionally near. Sometimes beautiful change begins when someone notices how much warmth is attached to one memory. A single remembered detail can unlock a truth hidden for months. That has happened recently. A simple memory became unexpectedly powerful. A small detail returned with unusual brightness. And instead of pushing it away, they allowed it to stay. That changed the rhythm of their heart. Do not skip, because many leave before hearing the part that reveals why timing matters so much. If this had happened earlier, confusion may have spoken louder than clarity. But now, after reflection, what they feel carries more peace. It is no longer rushed emotion. It is calmer, deeper, more sincere. That is why this quiet moment matters so much. Because now the change forming is beautiful, not uncertain. Something huge is waiting for you. You may wonder why your own heart has felt moments of sudden stillness lately, moments where everything becomes quiet inside for no obvious reason. Sometimes that happens when unseen emotional movement begins touching both sides of a connection. What one heart starts understanding often creates a subtle echo in the other. And that echo has already begun. Stay till the end, because there is more happening than what appears on the surface. They are beginning to notice that every attempt to fully move past this feeling quietly returns them to the same truth: something unfinished still deserves honesty. That truth is powerful because it does not force, it gently remains. And what gently remains often lasts longer than what arrives loudly. Do not skip. Because the beautiful change is not only about what they may do next, it is about who they are becoming while approaching that next step. More open. More aware. More willing to trust what feels real. Something huge is waiting for you. A surprising peace has entered their thoughts whenever they imagine choosing sincerity instead of silence. That peace is important, because it means the heart is no longer fighting itself the way it once did. The inner resistance is softer now. The old distance is losing strength. And what remains is a quiet desire to stop leaving meaningful things unspoken. Stay till the end, because the next chapter begins exactly where quiet understanding becomes impossible to ignore. There are once-in-a-lifetime moments when a person realizes they are standing close to a beautiful turning point without needing noise to confirm it. This is one of those moments. The connection is being seen differently now. Not as something uncertain. Not as something forgotten. But as something worthy of gentle courage. Do not skip, because what is approaching carries emotional clarity that was not present before. And when clarity finally arrives after silence, even the smallest step can carry extraordinary meaning. Something beautiful is moving closer, not loudly, but with the kind of calm that changes everything when it finally arrives. A beautiful turning point often arrives when nobody around you can see it yet, because the deepest decisions are first made in silence, inside a heart that has finally become ready to choose what feels true. Do not skip, because this part carries the moment where hidden emotions begin turning into real intention. The quiet season was never empty. It was shaping something delicate and powerful at the same time. While you may have wondered why nothing seemed clear, another heart was slowly gathering courage in ways even they did not fully understand at first. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and this next truth explains why the energy has changed so strongly. There comes a moment when remembering is no longer enough. A person reaches a place where memory itself begins asking for meaning. That is where your soulmate now stands. They are no longer simply revisiting thoughts. They are asking themselves why those thoughts still carry warmth, why your presence still feels close even in quiet hours, and why the feeling becomes stronger whenever life becomes still. That question has become impossible to ignore. And once a question reaches that depth, answers begin forming naturally. Do not skip, because what they are understanding now is rare. Some people arrive in life not only to be remembered, but to quietly transform how the heart understands connection. This understanding has softened something inside them. The part that once delayed now listens more carefully. The part that once doubted now notices peace where fear used to live. And the part that once stayed distant now wonders what honesty could create. Something huge is waiting for you. A surprising thought has appeared more than once. Maybe this beautiful change has already begun, even before words are spoken. That thought matters because repeated thoughts become emotional direction. And emotional direction becomes action when the heart stops resisting itself. Stay till the end, because there is a reason this message feels stronger now than before. At certain moments recently, they have felt an unusual calm when imagining your name, your voice, your presence, or even the possibility of renewed closeness. Calm is important, because true feelings often arrive not as pressure, but as peace. This peace has changed the way they think. Instead of asking whether the feeling should remain hidden, they are beginning to ask what happens if they allow it to breathe. Do not skip, because many people miss the quiet miracle of emotional readiness. Readiness does not shout. It settles gently. It appears in small inner decisions, thinking longer, hesitating less, imagining more clearly, feeling less afraid of sincerity. And that readiness is now stronger than before. Something huge is waiting for you. A beautiful change becomes real the moment someone understands that silence protected them for a season, but honesty may now carry more peace than silence ever did. That exact understanding is rising now. This is why certain signs around you may feel unusual, unexpected calm, sudden curiosity, a feeling that something is near even without proof. When emotional truth matures, both sides often sense the shift before life openly confirms it. Stay till the end, because what comes next is deeply important. They are beginning to see that some connections remain bright because they were never ordinary to begin with. Time may pass, but meaning does not always fade. Sometimes meaning becomes clearer only after distance has taught its lesson. And distance has taught enough now. Do not skip. Because what once seemed paused is quietly moving again. Not rushed. Not forced. But guided by a gentler certainty. Something huge is waiting for you. There are moments where they almost feel as though the future is standing close, asking only for one honest step. That feeling returns repeatedly. It does not disappear. It stays longer each time. This is how beautiful change begins, first as repeated inner clarity, then as emotional courage, then as movement. Stay till the end, because the heart connected to yours is no longer standing at the old doorway of confusion. A new doorway has opened, the doorway of understanding what truly matters. And when someone reaches that doorway after silence, even one simple decision can carry extraordinary meaning. The quiet moment has now become something else, a place where sincerity has started becoming stronger than fear. Do not skip, because the next chapter belongs to those moments when what was hidden finally becomes impossible to deny. Something beautiful is approaching with softness, but softness should never be mistaken for weakness, because some of the strongest changes arrive gently and still change everything they touch. The most unforgettable changes often begin at the exact moment when everything still looks ordinary, because true emotional turning points do not always announce themselves loudly, they arrive quietly, then suddenly everything begins to feel different. Do not skip, because this final part carries the deepest layer of what has been forming. Your soulmate has entered a space where silence no longer feels like distance, it feels like preparation. The quiet moment that once held uncertainty has now become a place where inner truth is standing clearly in front of them. They are beginning to understand that some feelings remain not because they are temporary, but because they belong to something meaningful. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the meaning of this beautiful change is stronger than it first appears. There is now a gentle certainty growing inside them that what they kept feeling was never random. Some people leave a passing impression, but some remain present even in silence, even in ordinary hours, even when nothing is being said. You have become that kind of presence in their heart. And once a person fully recognizes that, their way of seeing the future changes. Do not skip, because this recognition is creating a rare emotional opening. A surprising peace appears whenever they imagine honesty. That peace is no longer brief, it stays longer than before. It follows them through simple moments. It returns when they least expect it. And every time it returns, it carries the same quiet message, something be.